In divorce and legal separation cases, how does HKK ensure that their clients' interests are represented and protected?
Right, in those matters, which are things that are really important to you in your life, typically your children and your finances. So what I always say here is that the difference is in the details. We pay very close attention to what's going on in our clients' lives. Number one, we listen to what they have to say. Two, we collect a lot of information. Three, we prepare ourselves so we can prepare you for court hearings, depositions, anything that comes up along the way. So the difference that you're going to find here versus other law firms is really just in our attention to detail. And you notice that and experience that really from the first moment that you sit down with a lawyer here and then work with our team as we really try to fine tune and get everything we can to help you in your case.
As a family law attorney, what are some things you do to ensure your clients' interests are fully represented?
As a family law attorney, there's a lot to cover. You're really dealing with a person's whole life in many circumstances. So my first goal when somebody comes in is I want them to exit that case and the experience with us. I want them to leave with their dignity. If it's involving children, with their children. If it involves their money, we want to protect their money. So in a typical divorce, if you have all those, I want to make sure that people come through that with their dignity, their children, and their money, right? So what I do is sit down with people and I listen, number one, and I listen some more. And then number two is I start developing goals with them and a strategy to meet their goals. So, we really get in and get to know our clients, listen, again, like I said, and again, and then set those goals, have that strategy, and then start executing on the plan. That's what we do here.
What is the difference between a legal separation and a divorce, and how should a client decide what solution is best for them?
Legal separation and divorce can be very similar, but there's obviously a difference there. The biggest one being that if you're legally separated, you're not divorced, right? So both matters are similar in the sense that you file what's called a petition for legal separation or a petition for divorce, okay? You then start this proceeding, and the reason you would seek a legal separation is you're asking for a court to make orders concerning your children, if you have children, and your property, your home, your finances, your money, essentially, right? And you do that also in divorce. So it's similar in that sense. But with a legal separation, people do that really for one of three reasons. One, they're just not ready to be divorced. However, they are no longer perhaps living with their spouse and they want legal orders to protect their rights. It could be for religious purposes that in their particular religion, divorce is not something that I guess is allowed, if you say it that way. And the third reason could be for things like health insurance or other sort of benefits or coverage, that if you're legally separated but not divorced, you may still be eligible for certain plans that you would have in a marriage. But both matters are similar in the sense that it takes about 4 months at least to get through the process. At the end of a legal separation, you get what's called a judgment of legal separation. And then from there, after 1 year from getting that judgment, either party could petition the court and then have the matter converted to a divorce simply by asking for it. So I would say those are very basically the differences between the two. And if you have more questions or information that you're seeking on that matter, make sure to reach out to me and ask, and we can really drill down on what your matter is and what's right for you.
What should prospective clients keep in mind when choosing an attorney to represent them in their family law case?
Specifically on a family law matter, you want an attorney who has some experience. It's really important, okay? But again, the main thing, you have to just have the right fit attorney for you, and you're going to know that when you trust the attorney. So make sure that attorney's listening to you, trust that the attorney has the integrity to represent you, trust that the attorney has the skills to represent you, and trust that the attorney's backed by a law firm that believes in the attorney and believes in your case and helping you and takes a team approach to getting the job done. That's really what you want to look for as you're searching for a family law attorney.
In divorce and legal separation cases, how does HKK ensure that their clients' interests are represented and protected?
right? In those matters, which are things that are really important to you in your life, typically your children and your finances. So what I always say here is that the difference is in the details. We pay very close attention to what's going on in our clients' lives. Number one, we listen to what they have to say. Two, we collect a lot of information. Three, we prepare ourselves so we can prepare you for court hearings, depositions, anything that comes up along the way. So the difference that you're going to find here versus other law firms is really just in our attention to detail. And you notice that and experience that really from the first moment that you sit down with a lawyer here and then work with our team as we really try to fine tune and get everything we can to help you in your case.
What is a guardian ad litem?
Okay, so a guardian ad litem, that's an attorney who represents the best interest of a child in a family law proceeding. So a family law proceeding could include a paternity action, a divorce, child custody matter, adoption, a guardianship, maybe even a termination of parental rights. So in those cases, the court wants to appoint an attorney who represents the best interests of the child or the children to make sure that their voice is heard in the matter. And so what a guardian ad litem will do, they get special training, number one, just so you know that, as to what it means to be a guardian ad litem and what their roles and responsibilities are. But typically, they'll do what we call an investigation, which is interviewing people, looking at records, talking to witnesses, things of that nature, and then come back with a recommendation for the parties and for the court as to what should happen with respect to the children. One thing that sometimes people get confused about with the guardian ad litem, they'll say, well, that's the attorney for the child or the child's attorney. That's not technically correct. A child could have their own attorney and a guardian ad litem. A guardian ad litem represents a concept which is the best interest of a child. So the difference there is that a child could want something that's different from what a guardian ad litem recommends. And the guardian ad litem is making a recommendation based upon best interest, not just what the child wants. If you have an attorney who's representing a child, that attorney then is an advocate for what the child wants. So that's just a difference and a detail that sometimes people don't understand, that here we help our clients to understand that difference as they go through working with a guardian ad litem in a family law matter.